Welcome, everyone. Um, Welcome to Crime and Corruption, Truth and Theories. We're going to be covering a few different cases, but primarily we are going to be covering the case of Jessica Chambers. I did one video already, kind of had to rush through some of the stuff, so we'll be breaking down different pieces of evidence and going into more detail, but I've heard this comment a lot from different people throughout the years of covering this case, whether it be on Facebook or whatever. A lot of people seem to believe that the forensic cell phone analyst, Paul Rowlett, that testified in Quentin Tellis's trial, the fact that he said some of the things he said, I think confused some people. And I'm going to try to clear up some of that. But if you would, if you don't watch this video all at once, please come back and pick up where you left off and watch this entire video, because I think this video is going to explain and clear up some of the confusion. Now, if you don't mind, if you're interested in Jessica Chambers' case and other crime and corruption cases, please take a moment. It doesn't take but a second to hit the subscribe button. That way you can stay tuned, interact, and we can work together to try and come to a conclusion and get justice for Jessica Chambers. Now, one of the comments that's frequently made when Paul Rowlett's cell phone presentation was presented in court is the fact that when he was explaining how he went about this, he said that he had to move some of the data locations, the cell phone location data. Okay. I think that created a lot of confusion with people, like as if he just manipulated the location data or if he just put the dots where he wanted them to be or whatever. And that's simply not true. Now, like he said, there isn't necessarily a smoking gun in the location data, but circumstantially, it literally puts Quentin Tellis in and with Jessica, like literally soon before she was killed. So, and throughout the day and all day. And more importantly, what the cell phone data does do is it proves that Quentin Tellis lied many a times. Why would he lie? If you have nothing to hide, if you're innocent, why would you lie that many times and keep trying to cover your tracks if you're innocent? So, Paul Rowlett, I think, confused not only spectators like myself and some of you. I think he confused it. If I had to bet, I guarantee you some of the jury members didn't quite understand what he was trying to say. He did not make up. Okay. What he did was he took, now keep in mind, these photos are mine that I created. I'm going to walk you through. All of this is hypothetical. I'm not going to use actual times, actual locations. I'm just trying to explain to you. Some of you, I'm sure already know, but the ones who don't, I'm trying to explain to you, the ones that made comments saying, well, he said himself that he moved the dots to make them fit where he wanted. No, that's not the case. I'm going to try my best to explain to you in a hypothetical situation what he was trying to say. So if you've ever used one of those location apps or tracker apps on your cell phone, Find My Friends or whatever, sometimes it is very accurate and sometimes it is kind of far off from where you actually are. What you need to keep in mind here is the closer to a cell phone tower that you are with your cell phone, the more accurate your location data is going to be. If you are very close, it can be very precise and pinpoint. The further you are away from that tower, it is trying to locate your phone and it knows an area that you are in, but the further you get away from that tower, it can't pinpoint where you're at. Okay, so keep this in mind and listen closely. The thing that Paul was trying to say when he said he moved and shifted the data, this is what he's trying to say. Let's hypothetically speak and say that this picture depicted of M&M first stop, the gas station in Cortland, Mississippi. Let's say I got a red circle around it. Let's say at 6 o'clock, we know for a fact that Jessica Chambers is at that gas station because we have her on camera. Let's say that the red dots off in this field is where her location data is showing that she is at. Well, we know she is not in that field because we have her on camera at that time. Okay, let's just hypothetically speak and say from the point where the tower is saying she is at to where she is actually at, we know where she is at 6 o'clock. The tower is thinking she's in that field, but in reality, she's inside that store, which is 200 feet. Let's just call it to the west. I'm not looking at north, south, east, and west, but let's just say that she's actually 200 feet to the west. What Paul does is he takes all of those groupings and he moves them, not just one dot here or one dot there. He takes all, he doesn't manipulate where those dots go. What he does is he says, I'm going to take all of these groupings and I'm going to move them to the known locations. So all of them at one time, not just some by the gas station. I'm going to move these dots over here. No, he takes all the dots, plot it on a map, and he shifts them all. Once he figures out where the knowns are, he shifts all of the dots to make them match up to the knowns. Where the rest of the dots fall out at is pretty reasonably accurate. And we're going to go into more detail about this. What I'm saying, and like I said, some of you, I'm sure you do know exactly what I'm saying, but there are people that get really confused about this. And hold on, I'm at the backup. Okay. Now, this is another example. We have M&M first stop. It's about 200 feet over to the west. Sorry about that. Something was going on with my connection. Hopefully everything didn't completely cut out and we can jump right back to where I was. So just a technical difficulty, sorry. So hopefully we're all good right now and everybody is back on track and you can hear me. So let's jump right back. Let's say at 6:15, we know she's in the driveway beside Quentin's house. Well, all the dots from the tower is showing that she is in the field. Okay. All of the dots when she's at Quentin is showing she's across 51 over there somewhere. Well, we know for a fact that at 6 p.m. she's in the store because we have her on camera. So what we're going to do, because that is a known, we know where she is at. We are going to take, and that's 200 feet from where the tower's thinking she at to where we know she is at. We're going to take all of the dots. We're going to take all of the dots and shift them 200 feet, not just one or two, put them where we want. We're shifting all of them to where we know she is at. And when you do that, now those dots at 6 p.m. are directly on the gas station. Why did we shift everything 200 feet? Because we knew she was at the gas station at 6 o'clock. Now the other dots put her right beside Quentin Tellis's house. Again, this is hypothetical, but I'm trying to give you an understanding of what Paul Rowlett means when he says he shifted the dots. For instance, when she's at home and the dots are showing her off in the woods somewhere, he knows what time she is at home. When she's at the gas station, he has her on camera. He knows when she is at the gas station. And when she's by Quentin's, he has the timeline of knowns. So he doesn't just take one group of dots and move them over. He takes the entire plot map and shifts it over on a terrain map the same equal amount to make the knowns match up, and then the rest of them fall where they may. This is how he knows approximately within probably, 1,000 feet radius where she's at. And this is very important. So let's look. This is just a map I pulled off the internet. It shows M&M First Stop gas station. It shows Heron Road, and it shows the Taco Bell up there in Batesville. To get even deeper into this and explain it more, this is what I want to do. So, again, let's say the black dots that's Jessica's cell phone location data. Let's say the blue dots is Jessica's cell phone location data. Let's just hypothetically speak. Let's say at 7 o'clock, we know for a fact she is at Taco Bell. And let's say at 7:15, we know for a fact she is at the gas station. Well, these dots, the tower is always communicating with your phone. It is always trying to pinpoint your location. It's constantly communicating back and forth. Well, we know she's at the Taco Bell, and we know when she's at the M&M First Stop gas station, but these dots are showing her over here in Batesville and off in the woods. Well, that can't be because we know where she's at. So again, what Paul is doing is he's taking the center of these clusters. Okay, so all of these dots, that's a grouping. Anybody that shoots guns, shotgun, or just shoots at targets, you understand what I'm saying? He takes the center of all of the groupings, and he takes them and shifts them to where he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt where she is at that time. And when you do that, it gives you a better picture of where she is actually at. And potentially, when you plug in other people's location data, it shows you who is near her. Once you move them all the same distance to where you know she's at those times, then you have a better understanding of where she's at the unknown times. So understand, Paul Rowlett is not just taking certain dots. So I'm going to put one here, or I'm going to say this person was over here beside her and all of this stuff. That's not the case. It's just not. He's taking imagine having a map and imagine your cell phone company gives you a map of your location data for one day. For instance, let's take mine. Well, I'm at work from 6 to 2:30. So let's say I'm in my office from 6 to 2:30. If you look at my location data, it's not going to say, if I never leave that office, it's not going to have a dot right over my office all day. There might be a dot on my office. There might be dots all around the facility where I work, but I'm still there. When I get off of work and I come home, all of my location dots are going to show me traveling to my house. Then they're going to show me all at home. They're not going to, the dot isn't going to literally be on top of my house, but you might have one close to my house. You might have one down the street because the tower is trying to approximate my location constantly. And when it does that, and when an analyst takes that information, they want to find out where was our victim all day? Where did she go? Who was with her? If I can find out where she was, I can find out who might have seen her and who was potentially with her. So let's use this as an example. Let's say the example that was used in court when Quentin Tellis lied and said he wasn't with her at the Taco Bell or that he met her to give her money. Eventually, he come clean when they showed him the location data, and he said, yeah, I was riding with her. Let's say that the green dots are Jessica and the yellow dots are Quentin. When Paul plugs in all of Jessica's location data, on the same plot map plugs in all of Quentin's location data, what does he see? All of a sudden, he sees that Jessica's location data is consistent and almost identical at certain times to Quentin location data. So you can see both of them at the Taco Bell. You can see them traveling down 51 or 55. And then you can see them back in Cortland, presumably sitting beside her house. So I'm hoping that I'm explaining this to you. I'm trying as hard as I can for those who doubt Paul Rowlett's presentation and think that because he said he was shifting data and it's not pinpoint, etc. I'm really hoping for those of you, if you were listening to this video, I'm hoping that this gives you a better understanding of what I'm saying. He is not making up data. He is not manipulating data to the point where he's lying. He's taken an educated procedure that he has a lot of training in. And to me, when he first explained it, and when I was watching the trials, it was, I mean, I understood it right off the bat. It's, you know, he's not just putting Quentin with Jessica just to do it. When they pull up her data and they plot her data with his data, it shows them together coming from Taco Bell, at the Taco Bell, etc. And then you put all of these things together that you've heard in the trial, where it shows Quentin on camera at the gas station. It shows him by his house. It shows him getting his, well, the evidence that talked about in court when he went and got his sister's SUV, the car leaving that driveway beside his house going towards the crime scene. Minutes pass by. I don't know if it's 20, 30 minutes. And then a car pulls into his driveway. We know his mama's at the gas station or somewhere. A car pulls into his driveway and it doesn't pull all the way up next to the trailer. It stops. If you look at Quentin Tellis's house, let me see if I can find that slide. If you look at Quentin Tellis's house right here. Let me see. There's supposed to be some kind of. All right. When that car pulls back into the driveway, it doesn't pull up here where all the other cars are. You wouldn't, if you lived at this house, you would not park all the way out here by the shed and then walk up to the house. When that car comes back from the crime scene and it pulls in that driveway, you can see the taillights from the gas station when it's parked. That car, I mean, it's not a guess. Even if you don't think Quentin is guilty, you can agree on the fact that when that car pulls in that driveway, it stops directly by the shed. Now, for those of you who think Quentin Tellis is guilty, like myself, when it comes, pulls in the driveway, why would he stop by the shed? He didn't go into the house to get something that far away. He left that crime scene. He went to that shed. He grabbed the gasoline, and then the surveillance footage from the gas station shows that vehicle going back towards the crime scene and then passing by the gas station, going to Batesville to buy the green dot. So when Paul Rowlett, and I'll go through this again real quick, and like I said, understand long videos, it's hard for people to watch the entire thing, but when you watch a little bit of it, later on come back and watch the rest of it, because I'm telling you, it's very important. So just to run through it one more time, if the tower, because this is a rural area and the tower is so far away from where we are trying to pinpoint location, if this gas station was right beside a cell phone tower, let's say 100 yards, then her location data would be pinpoint. It would put her in that building. But because of the situation, we're using hypotheticals again. Okay, this is hypothetical maps. This isn't one that was used in court. This isn't legit data. This is something I made up to explain what Paul was trying to say. So let's say that her location data, let's say at 6 p.m., we know for a fact that she was in the gas station because we have her on camera. But let's say her location data at that specific time is showing her off in this field. Well, we know she's not off in the damn field because we have her on camera. Now, Paul didn't just I'm going to take this dot and that dot and move it over. He moved the whole plot map to the knowns. He knows the times and places where he knows she is at. He moved all of the data. So here's another example. That's a hypothetical example. Let's say at 6 p.m., we know she's inside of the gas station. And at 6:15, let's say we know she's beside Quentin Tellis's house. Let's say we know that. Well, he's not just going to move. Or for instance, let's say at 6:15, we don't know she's beside Quentin Tellis's house, but we believe she is. But at 6 p.m., we know for a fact she's in the gas station. Well, he's not just going to move the location data up here by the gas station. He's going to move all of the location data to make the knowns match up. The other ones just fall where they may. When he does that, he moves them all the same distance, and then boom, right there. It's simple. If you have any questions or things you would like to add to this, if there's something I'm missing, please comment and let me know. But I tried really hard in preparation for this video to try to explain, because I've had tons and tons and tons of comments through various platforms when talking about this case. And they say that Paul Rowlett, when he said that he just shifted data and moved it here and did this, like a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people got confused when he said that. I guarantee you members of the jury got confused when he said that. He didn't make up his own data. He didn't manipulate the data for it to say what he wants. And even more so when presented with this evidence. Quentin Tellis changed his story many of times. Remember, he changed his story from he wasn't with her. The last time he seen her was such and such that morning to, well, I met her at Taco Bell and gave her money and I was in Big Mike's truck. Then when presented with the location data, then he changed his story to, oh yeah, I was riding with her. So I believe, like I said in my last video, if Quentin Tellis did not kill her, he was there, he knows who did, and he participated in the act. Now, there's a ton of different things to go over in this case. The cops aren't all innocent. The defense was right when they pointed out the fact that, well, why did you automatically assume that the car was the crime scene? I can understand why the cops would think that because, hey, we have a girl that's burned severely bad, and here's her car on fire. This must be the crime scene. But I do agree with the defense and the fact that scene should have been expanded all around the burning car for, I don't know, 100, 200 yards should have been scoured and searched vigorously. So look, when we're going through this case, and I'm going to go through everything that I can through time. Trust me, I'm not all